Welcome to Freaky Fast Broadcasting. We're here tonight with the Underdog Racing League for round number 13 here at the Chicagoland Speedway. And the Underdog Racing League is presented to you by Ultimate Siding and Gutter LLC as they bring all the action to us out here on the racetrack. But Freaky Fast Broadcasting, what a night we got here in store for you at the Chicagoland Speedway. I'm Zach Hall up in the booth. As got David Medina joining alongside me here to call the action, and Robert Moyer Jr. is always running the cameras up top in the production. David, good to have you here on Wednesday night, man, here in these Xfinity cars at Chicagoland. This track, a very racy racetrack, going into the sunlight. It should be a fun little battle.
Absolutely great to be here with you tonight, and yeah, it's going to be a fun race to watch these Xfinity cars go around here on Chicagoland, which is always a great race on any car that you're putting on this track. So looking forward to the action that's going to take place tonight, and glad to be a part and being up here in the booth with you.
Definitely glad to have you here also, David. Is right now we head off into qualifying as practices just came to an end. 5 minutes here for these drivers to put down two of their fastest laps, and right there in that practice session, Justice Murphy was our fastest driver of the 9 machine. We'll see if anybody can back up those times, but right now it's all on the line to try to get that track position, possibly get a stage win in stage number 1. But man, how important do you think qualifying is going to be here, David?
Yeah, qualifying is important here, but if you get a decent start, you don't have to start up front. But if you get a decent start, there is some drafting that takes place here. So if you're in the mid pack, you can work your way up here. What's really going to be key is pit road, getting on and getting off pit road, not making those mistakes, and keeping your car clean. That wall will fast approach, that outside wall will fast approach on your exit, especially as you get some tire wear on there. So I think those are going to be the keys to this race.
It'll be fun to see how it all plays out for these drivers on the racetrack. As there's some drivers out here now getting up to speed, getting ready to put down their first times here in this qualifying session. As we're in Chicago, Illinois here at the Chicagoland Speedway. In my opinion, David, I am a very big fan of this track. I always feel like it's one of the more racy surfaces we have on our racing, and hopefully we can see a little bit of multi-groove action come into play with these Xfinity cars. Yeah,
I agree with you. It's one of my favorite tracks as well to come to, and you can race in the low lane or the mid lane, and kind of watching it transition up to the laps pick off to watch the guys go to the high lane, and then this Xfinity car too is just handled different than the current gen cars and even the trucks. So it's gonna be a lot of fun to watch and see how these guys handle this track and through the changes of the temperature as we go on into the later part of the track today.
Yeah, and that's a great point. Right here, definitely in a good time switch. Right here is Murphy to the top of the board there in the 9 machine. That's going to be first place for him so far. He backed up almost what he ran in practice there, about a 10.5 off of that. We'll see if anybody can jump down into those 70s. And Christopher Heights in the 21, I believe we were on board for that lap, and he puts it to the top of the board there. Great lap for Christopher Heights, picking up some time from practice.
Yeah, absolutely. On a really terrific lap there. And, as we're watching here, you can kind of see this part of the track here is in the sun. And then the other part of the track, as you use right now, is in the shade part. So it's going to be a definitely tire temperature difference, as these guys are qualifying.
Yeah, and I think that's a great point, like you brought up there. Like the transition here we're going to see tonight. I mean, looking at the weather right now, we got a mostly cloudy racetrack, but the ambient temperature right now, 71 degrees and a 72-degree track temperature there, as you can see up top there, and also about 37% humidity there. So it's 4-mile-an-hour southwest winds also, so it's pretty calm winds there. But as we go into the night, we'll have to see if that temperature on that track temp and that ambient temp go down as the time goes on and the lights start to go or click on.
Yeah, absolutely. And then, like you make a good point there that the track temp is down, so 71, 72 degrees, and the air temperature, 72 degrees as well. So those are all great temperatures for drivers. And then you take the humidity into play, and what that does as far as the grip level on the track. So the higher the humidity, the less grip you get because of that moisture on there. But 37% not that bad. So this could be very favorable for drivers that like a lot of grip.
I tell you what, the driver who found the most grip so far, still Christopher Heights, as I believe with the 77 crossing the line here. Grant Thrope, our winner from Nashville earlier in the season, He'll jump up actually to 7th on the board. Great lap there for Grant in the 77 machine. So he hits 777s. Man, he needs to go play the lottery. But yeah, Christopher Heights there. He's got one heck of a lap here, and it looks like everybody's put down their times. As Raider there goes 6 on the board now. So I believe Heights is going to give himself a pole here in Chicagoland. What a lap it was for him. I believe that'll be his first here in this season.
That is great. That's a great lap there. And I mean, even if you look at, the first 3 or 4 drivers, their lap times are so close to each other. So we're going to have a really interesting start to this race, going into turn 1. So it's going to be fun, some side to side action there for a little bit. And, it's going to be about the guys who can take care of their stuff, not overheat their tires, take care of their equipment. I wouldn't be too worried about watching guys fall back a little bit because I think, if they take care of their stuff, they'll be able to work their way back up to the front.
It's going to be fun to watch our winner from Talladega start from the pole position, first of the season for him in that 21 machine. Christopher Heights having one heck of a qualifying session there as the final seconds tick off the board. And that's it. It's official. Christopher Heights, like I said, is your pole setter. Justice Murphy going to start with him on the front row as we're going to get ready to bring up our starting grid here tonight at the Underdog Racing League at the Chicagoland Speedway for race number 13. Only 3 races to go before the playoffs kick off. This is a crucial time in this season to get all you need out of your car and get up to the front of the field to get the most points as our grid comes up now. Heights going to start from that pole position. Second's going to be Justice Murphy alongside him in the 9. Third is going to go to last week's winner at Dover, James Loveland. Fourth is going to be Matt Jobe. 5th place there, round out your top 5 is going to be Trevor Earhart. 6th is going to go to Robert Rader. 7th is going to go to Sean Huffstetler. 8th is Grant Thrope. 9th is going to go to Jason Finsler. 10th is going to be Kevin Orlando Jr. 11th is going to go to Parker Johnston. 12th going to be Mike Aiello Jr. setting the 74 machine. 13th is going to be Justin Stunnard. 14th is going to be Jacob Sekrovich. 15th, Nick Alves. 16th, Dylan Walterman. 17th is going to be Alan Bargainquest. 18th, Cody Dorsey. 19th, Peyton Presley. And rounding out your field in the 20th position is Scott Kerberg, as that's your starting lineup here tonight at the Chicagoland Speedway. What a great group of drivers we got out there. Very close times. We're getting ready to roll off the grid here, David. It's going to be critical here in stage 1 at lap 30 to keep what you can track position-wise and get the most points to be able to set up for those playoffs. We'll see who can do the best.
Yeah, absolutely. You want to get those points in that stage, so it's going to be crucial for these guys who get off to a good start and get some clearance. What you don't really want to do a whole lot of around here is racing side by side and lose time to that leader. So they're going to want to get it sorted out pretty quickly.
Christopher Heights has got to be feeling great with that lap he put down. I'm sure that, sometimes you get caught off guard with how good a lap you do. I know I've done that before. I'm like, wow, that lap was surprisingly a lot better than I thought, and it ends up to be in the pole position. And Christopher Heights, he's going to get the lead us to the green. I'm pretty sure he's feeling pretty confident after that.
Yeah, I bet he's excited to be starting on the front row. And, I agree with you. Sometimes you hit these tracks and you run those laps and you kind of look back and be like, what did I do? So trying to be able to repeat that's going to be interesting. But coming into the green here shortly, these guys are going to be getting ready to go into turn 1 and, be ready to go for 100 and some odd laps. So, let's get it started.
That it is. Pace car pulling in. We're getting ready to take the green flag here tonight at the Chicagoland Speedway. There it is, the flag man holding the flag. He's ready. The flag waves. Green flag. We're out and down the front straightaway. Christopher Heights side by side with Justice Murphy. A dead heat for our leaders.
Yeah, going into turn 1 and coming out of turn 2, we see Murphy just doing a good job up there, and now Christopher as well. So these guys are already getting kind of sorted out, and coming to turn 3.
Look at this here. James Lovett, our winner from Dover. He's trying to use that momentum, maybe crawl his way up to the front as Murphy dropping back there. Maybe going to slide back to 4th here in the early laps as it really spreads out throughout this field. Everybody's searching for grip.
Yeah, one thing I love about this track is just the different lanes. As you saw the guys, you had guys running all across the board here from high, mid to low. So that's the one thing I love about this track, and these guys are using all that, get that nose on that front end.
James Loveland there, as like you said, David, he's running that very low line, getting all the clean air on the nose. While Heights elected on that middle lane, that's already giving me some hope that we will see a good bit of multi-group racing as we hop on board here with Heights. I believe Loveland, he's going to the inside down here in the 1. We'll see if he makes the pass here on this 21 machine.
Yeah, that inside lane on fresh tires is very inviting, and you know, a lot of times you can make it work early, but you don't want to spend too much time there and heat up those tires. But these guys are doing a fantastic job, you know, racing cleanly and side by side, as we see here. Hertz coming out of the turn 1 for Christopher.
Christopher Heights here going to continue to lead lap 3 in the books. The battle, though, is back here at the 74 machine. Mike Aiello Jr. back here. He's in this 74 fighting hard here from the 12th starting position on the outer groove, fouling Matt Job. You also got Grant Thrope, Justin Stern, Nick Alves, Dylan Waltzman. Multiple guys there. Ooh, stuttered almost up into the 24 of Alves. He keeps it off him down the back straightaway as we got some close racing going on here back in the later teens.
Yeah, these guys are definitely racing hard against each other, but what a great sight to see these guys racing door to door.
Door-to-door racing is one thing we love to see for sure, as you can see, stuttered in the 33 with that nice looking number 33 there. Well, we'll check that out possibly here later in the races. We got to check out all the little things he's got going on that car with the 77. Grant Thrope there, a big run for him. Here comes the 24 Alves, crossover move for him there, as you can see the side draft. When you get side by side with these cars, you slow down each other so much.
Yeah, that's absolutely right. You know, you get that side draft on there, you'll be able to slow that car down, and you know, if you can do it, if you time it right, it just helps you in that entry part to be able to get clear of them and be able to drift up right in front of him and move your spot up one and work on the next one.
Up front, Heights is he's got his work cut out for him. James Loveland, he's been side by side with him for a lap now. As they do battle, we're riding on board with the 99 Dylan Waltzman. You can see everybody up ahead of him, all just stacked up in a little pod here as that front group is starting to break away up front. The leaders continue to battle.
Yeah, absolutely. The top 4 has now got a 1.5-second lead over 5th place. But the top 4, I mean, you're looking at a 0.42 difference between the top 4 there, between 1st place and 4th place. So those guys are still in a pretty good battle up front.
Oh, man, the battle here with Jason Finsler in the 5 machine. He's back here in 7th. He's getting taken 3 wide, and there's people passing him all around the place here. As, again, it's going to be 3 wide with the 53 there up top of Robert Rader. He's trying to make it through as the 27 Orlando Jr. comes through. The 74 of Mike Aiello Jr. goes through. Jason Finsler, he is falling backwards from that 9th starting position now back to 10th. Is he, you know, is this just maybe not his week? He's usually very dominant at each and every racetrack we go to.
Yeah, I mean, you know, it's kind of early to tell, you know, if he's just getting a feel for the track or kind of just letting these guys go ahead and race up front and, you know, see if he works his way back up to the top side. But early to tell, you know, exactly what his game plan is. Hopefully, he's just not having a good night. And but you know, I think give him to the first stage, and he'll probably reorganize himself and get himself back up front.
We'll have to see what our championship leader will do. Our defending series champion is right now. Meyer back in the 10th position. Ahead of him, Mike Aiello Jr. there in the 74. He's got Robert Rader, Kevin Orlando Jr. doing battle. You know, also this track here, very much a tire wear sensitive track. You know, maybe we're seeing some guys, that's what their memo is. So they know 30 laps if we go green. At some point, the run will come back around to them. Just can't give up too much time here.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, you do want to try and save your tires, but like you said, you don't want to give too much time up because it's much harder to make up. But you know, we're getting to that point where, you know, the heat's are in the tires, some of the tire wear is starting to kick in. So right around this point, next 5 laps or so, we'll start, you know, seeing either guys that maybe drove a little bit too hard start falling back, and the guys that were saving moving up.
As we're looking at Orlando Jr., he's one driver moving forward. There is now the 33, the 88 of Job and Stunner do battle here for the 11th position. Looks like Stunner going to hold on to that. Here comes Walterman in the 99. Also Alves in the 24. Great runs from all of these drivers here off of 2. And we're seeing definitely multi-grooves coming in. And I can confirm now the leader has changed over. James Love, when he's took the lead, and he's starting to build a little bit of gap there as Murphy's now got past Heights. Also is Earhart up to 4th.
Yeah, and keeping an eye there on Sean, he had a lap that was almost mimicking that of the leader. This last lap was about a tenth slower, but previous lap he was mimicking the lap times of the leader.
Hufsteller always one to watch for as the race goes on. Always just that clean, consistent driver that you look for to bring in those great finishes. Has a win earlier in this season. We'll see if he can get himself back to victory lane. But at the moment, James Loveland, he's looking to get his second win of the season and go back-to-back. Looking very good for that 56 right before the playoffs kick off.
Yeah, they do a great job in getting in that lead. But, Murphy really isn't going anywhere. He's hanging around about 0.4 back. And, maybe he's just going to ride around and see what Loveland's doing a little bit different. But still in the top 3, top 4, still hanging around there and having a pretty close race.
I tell you what, back here, Matt Job, the 89, he's trying to hold off Justin Stunner to get by him in the 33. This back here has just not separated for the last 4 or 5 laps. They've been doing battle just like this from 11th on back. And man, I tell you, I've seen some loose race cars, as a classic quote here from Freaky Fast. They're shaking their tail feather here coming off the corners.
Yeah, and then it's pretty common for these Xfinity cars too. I've always found them to be a little bit looser than the next gen, and they're a lot of fun to drive. If you like a loose car, and I think some of these guys are maybe a little bit looser than what they would like, but there's still great action going on here.
It's looking fun as there. Job gets it done now. He's up to 11th. Stunner back to 12th. He's got the hungry hounds behind him of Walterman looking to go anywhere that 33 is not. And like you said earlier, it's just chasing that clean air. Even though that line may be a little bit slower, that clean air could play the factor where you get to the run to that quarter pound now to 99 with that big run. Like he used that clean air very well to his advantage. He gets by the 33 now. The 24 and 33 do battle.
Yeah, exactly. I was just watching that run that the 24 had, and in that corner you can see through the broadcast there just how he's able to close up in front of that car in front of him.
Now looking behind here, here's the 17 Alan Bargain Quest and the 3 of Jacob Sekrovich. These guys were battling back here for 16th and 17th. And Stunner had a major moment there as he drops back into 33 here early in the stage.
Yeah, I couldn't tell if there was contact there or if his just car just got a little bit loose on him, but you definitely had to chase it up the hill there, but did a great job of keeping it off the wall.
Oh, wow. Yeah, I definitely think there was some heavy contact. It doesn't really no damage on that car, so it was mostly just to the numbers of the car where the hit was. And, man, that could have been catastrophic. What a save from Justice Thunder now as the 17 will get by him as he's going to just be trying to hold on here, I believe, till the end of lap 30.
Yeah, we were over halfway before we get to the stage and stuff here, and still seeing Loveland. He's put a little bit of distance now on Murphy up to 0.7.
James Loveland, yes, starting to stretch that gap over Justice Murphy. And Trevor Earhart now up to 3rd. Huffsteller up to 4th. Heights has been dropping back our pole setter from 5th. Now he's under attack. The 53 of Robert Rader. He's been one of the faster cars on the racetrack. He was turning still 31.9 second laps there compared to every other driver on the field I've been looking at has been turning mostly 32. So that 53 coming here very forward late in the go, and he's been a driver that is shown he's very strong on the long runs.
Yeah, just kind of looking over, it looks like Sean's one of our biggest movers. Actually, now Dylan's our biggest mover with gaining 4 spots, but kind of keeping an eye on Christopher, the 21 car. He's lost 5 positions, so it kind of makes you wonder if maybe he did it, a little bit, started off a little bit too hard, too aggressive, maybe burned up his tires a little bit. But to be curious to see if he's able to cool those things back down and see if he can't get back up towards the front.
It's so easy to do when you're out front. Just go a little too quick and just use up your equipment trying to hold off the rest of the field. Here comes the 53. He's to the outside of Huffsteller now, and not too far ahead of that is Earhart as that 53. He's got grip for days compared to everybody right now. He's driving around the bottom and top. This 53 looks very strong late to go.
He really does, and his lap times are showing it. He's running faster times than the leader, and the first 3 cars in front of him. So looks like he's done a really good job taking care of his equipment so far, and should be working his way up front.
10 to go. We'll see how far he can go as he's 2 seconds now behind the leader. Still battling though here with the 25 of Earhart. It's going to be tougher to pass on this bottom where he's at. We'll see what type of grip level he has here as he's going to have to probably let the 25 back by here as that outside lane prevails again. But the 53 drops right in behind as soon as possible to get right up behind him.
Yeah, he's definitely have to kind of think on how he's going to pass the car. But you might want to try a different lane and see if it works for him because, like you said, with this many laps on the tires now, it might be a little bit hard to make that car stick at the bottom.
Again, going to the bottom here. We'll see what Raider can do. He's going to have 9 to go this time. Can he get up into the top 3 here late into the stage? Just not at the moment. Showing, oh, he's a good side draft there into 3. Oh, very close. Good racing in between him and Earhart there. This is fantastic battling coming down to the end of the stage here, David.
Absolutely, good side-by-side racing and great car control. Like you said, he was doing that side drafting and really good at it. Looks like and trying to make it work. And he's coming to the corner here, still side by side. I suspect maybe in the next turn coming into the next turn, he might be able, if he can stay close here, might be able to get some ground on him and complete the pass. But for now, he's going to tuck behind the 25.
We'll see what he alludes to do. He's been using that bottom, and now he elects to go up top here to the 3rd lane, try to make something happen. 3 and 4 doesn't usually seem to be the corner where the outer groove works as well. Just a very bumpy lineup here. I think in 1 and 2, if he can get Earhart to bite and go to the bottom, he runs the top, he may be able to set up the pass how much quicker he is to the corner. Here it is, big run for the 53.
I like what he's doing. I like how he's searching. Couldn't quite get the nose in there to take the outside lane away from the 25, but I really do like how he's just searching and trying a different line to make it happen. And I agree. I think if he can do the same exact thing, he makes it clear here. Slide job. So great job there.
And what a big block to make sure the 25 couldn't get back to the inside. Really, he had the job done almost pretty much with that clearing him right there. That pretty much gave him the ability to have the outside going down the 1, but he said, nope, you're not taking it at all, as I'm going to cover off the inside. And the 53 Robert Raider from 6th to 3rd here in the opening 25 laps here. They're showing a lot of speed. And I don't know if he was listening, but he stole my move there, David. I told him to go high and wanted to, and it very much prevailed for him. We'll have to see what he does when he gets up to Murphy here, because he's closing in at a pretty good rate with Justice.
Yeah, I do think what he's doing here is kind of running the higher line is going to get him a better run off, and you might have learned something there, and we'll kind of see over the next 4 laps as to whether he continues to do that.
Yeah, I tell you what, he was very much loose coming out into there, walking it sideways, coming off the quarter. But guess what? They're about to change these tires, so might as well get every little bit out of them here, as it's a push down to the end of this. Right now, James Loveland, a 1.7 second lead here. He's cruising to this stage victory after winning last week. What a battle this is, though, as we're coming to the end.
Yeah, and you were talking about Loveland. They're doing a great job up front and putting it down a lap of 32.46. Well, the 53 that we're watching now, lap time 32.46, exactly the same as the leader.
And here goes the 53 Raider on the bottom in 4. He got a great run through the center, but just got really, really loose off of 4. But the thing is, the run that Murphy got wasn't great either. He's going to still be enough nose ahead here down in the 1 and 2. I think he could possibly clear this 9 if he slides out the racetrack. But here comes the big run from the 9 off the top.
Yeah, big run off there. He's going to look on the inside and see if he can't take it back coming into the turn.
What racing we're having here tonight. The Underdog Race League is so amazing to see the Chicagoland Speedway producing what it always produces, this great side-by-side action. This Raider holds on to there as the caution's going to fly here, and that's going to be the stage in, but that had to be due to an incident on the track. Looks like the 99 of Waldstrom in here we're hearing word of. Oh, man, major collision with him in the 11 of Peyton Presley. That was an interesting moment to say nonetheless.
Yeah, unfortunate for Dylan, but coming to the end of the stage lap, hopefully we'll be able to get any damage that he has, fixed up. That these kind of tracks, because it is draft resistant. It's any kind of damage is really going to affect your overall speed.
Oh, we go back there on the Freak Fast replay and see exactly what happened there. I'm not sure if Dylan had some type of technical issue, because he just, slowed down so much on the straightaway, and just the car went straight on entry, and then when it got on the flat, it just went straight up the racetrack into the 11, and it was just a very awkward thing there.
Yeah, it was pretty awkward to see that, and you might be right. He might have had some technical difficulties there. You know, just unfortunate for him and the other cars that were involved.
As he gets it towed back to pit road. We'll see what these drivers do. Is Loveland able to win stage number one, but he's gonna have Raider here second now after the end of this stage. We'll see how the race off pit road works, but what a stage there for Loveland after winning Dover. He's definitely carrying some momentum. And the biggest thing I have from that whole entire stage, Jason Fensler was eighth there from a majority of it. Looks like he'll bring it home seventh there in the stage, but he was kind of non-existent. That's personally the first time here at the Underdog Racing League where I've seen that man struggle.
Yeah, and coming down pit road, this is an area here where you can try to make up some spots. Just getting into your pit stall and get out of your pit stall quickly and cleanly. But it's also a spot where you can lose a lot of time.
And I think Raider wins the race off pit road. What a stop from him. Man, oh man. He's going to win the race off pit road, and James Loveland going to have to restart in a second.
Yeah, that Robin, that 53 car, just done a really good job working his way up front, and now he takes the lead in pit road. So be curious to see when we go back to green, just how good of a car he really has. But so far, it looks like it's pretty good.
Well, I can tell you, David, this 53, he's shown those moments of just utter greatness really on the racetrack. He's been the driver that personally was the one to stop the Jason Fensler train early in this season. He won. It was technically 2 in a row races. It wasn't back-to-back races, but it was for him it was 2 in a row races because he missed the one in between. But he's already got 2 wins this season. He's shown a lot of pace at especially these mile and a half a lot of time. I'm telling you, when we get down to these playoffs with him, Loveland, all these guys, I mean, just so many good drivers here. Jason Fensler, looking at his stats and the points lead he has, you would think, man, this is, an uphill battle for a lot of these guys. But in my opinion, it's really just Jason Fensler's been the most consistent driver this season. I think the playing field has been leveled, and I cannot wait as we head off into the playoffs how close it is been between these guys.
Yeah, the playoffs is going to be exciting to watch with these guys, and they've been putting on a heck of a show already tonight. First 30 laps of the race, so we're getting ready to go into the second stage, and right now we're just going to re-rack them and get ready to go for to lap 775. So get off to a clean start. But yeah, that 53 of Rob is looking really good. But Loveland up there, he had a good lead on the second place car, so see how these two start off. I wouldn't be surprised to see Loveland being able to get a better start, than Rob. I think Rob's car comes on more on the longer run.
It is going to be fun to watch. Thank you all for tuning in here tonight at Freaky Fast Broadcasting. It's always a pleasure to call the action here at the Underdog Racing League. And thank you to everybody who helped makes it happen. As we want to definitely give a shout out to the sponsors later after we get some commercial breaks in. But, I want to definitely shout out Maconi Setup Shot and ButtKicker for always bringing the sponsors here to Freaky Fast Broadcasting. And if you haven't yet, make sure you hit that that follow, or sorry, don't follow, the share, the subscribe, and bell notification button. So you can follow along to Freaky Fast Broadcasting and follow us each and every night as we got great racing action. Really, I mean, it feels like 7 days a week, but you got a few off nights here and there. So, but make sure you check us out as racing here has been fantastic each and every night, and this race has been no different as we're going to get ready to re-rack them and go back green flag racing.
Yeah, lights are off on the pace car as these guys are, getting their positions and pulling them belts tight one more time to get ready to go back to green flag racing. So let's get ready to see how this all shakes out again. Some of these cars got a little bit separated, so this is their chance to, put what they've learned already on this track and put it to use.
Who's going to be able to use the wisdom here tonight to get to the front right now? Robert Raider, after winning the race off pit road, going to start with the lead. This kickoff stage number 2 here. Raider in control. Pace car is in. 53's off and away. So the green flag is in the air. Loveland there trying to hold off Earhart, but Raider with a great start out front.
Absolutely great start, and goes ahead and secures that lead going into turn 1. And the other cars racing side by side trying to get their positions.
Side by side through the field. Looks like Height's going to make the pass on Job. Now back there behind Job, you got Bargain Quest Alves doing battle there. Looks like it's jumbled up all throughout this field at the moment.
Yeah, so beginning part of the race, we saw some guys that might have just raced a little bit too hard and overheated their tires and dropped back. So going into this start here, we're going to see how the guys do with that. And we already see Trevor going up into second place.
Hart in the 25 passed. Love what went past for him there. And looking throughout my list here, some driver darts off into the grass down there. Actually, that's Justin's third in the 33. He's going to try to get it back onto the racing surface, slide up onto there, and doing a good job of holding it down on the apron as he slid through the grass there in that 33 machine. Man, oh man, unfortunate for Sternert as he's going to come down pit road here, it looks like, for something. So unfortunate for Justin here. He's going to come down, and just looking through the field, though, back to what I was saying is, Huffsteller, he was running top 5. He's back in 13th. Finsler, he was up there in the top 7. He's back to 12th. So looks like some problems on pit road for those drivers.
Yeah, and we touched on that a little earlier while they were on pit road. Even under caution, that's a place where you can gain spots, but at the same standpoint, you can also lose spots, and I think some of the guys got bitten by that. But keep an eye on the 17 there. Allen, he's up 9 spots, so he's our biggest mover of the race. And then you have Kevin Orlando, number 27, who's moved up 6 spots, and currently running in the 3rd position.
Yeah, Orlando has been really on the move. He drove up there very early in the first run of the race and gained a lot of track position. Now really use that to his availability. And one thing I'm thinking is Raider also, we've seen him, drop back and lose positions, David, early in the run. And I think that was mostly due to saving tire. I think he's out front trying to save that tire. That's what's causing this stack up here that we got. As look at this, Orlando Jr., Walterman, they go around the outside.
Yeah, just different strategies right now, right? You got some guys that say, I'm going to get all I can on these new tires, and you got other guys, such as Rob here that, is just saying, hey, you guys go ahead, go out there. My car's better on the long run. I'll see you guys in a few laps.
Right there, look at that. Orlando Jr. to the lead. Walterman in the 99. He isn't for racing for position, actually. That 99, remember, he actually had the incident there where I don't know if he had a technical issue that caused him to run off the track, but 3 laps down now on that 99. He's trying to get a lap back the old-fashioned way as him and Orlando Jr., they just tandem drafted out to this front lead.
Yeah, I don't think anybody told him that he's a couple of laps down, because he is racing like he's racing for the lead. So, it's going to be interesting to see what the leader does. Does he just let him go by and just, go ahead and give him 1 lap back?
Yeah, we'll have to see what Orlando does do. Here's the 99 going to dive into the inside there, where Orlando Jr. going to have the outer groove that's going to prevail down the back straightaway. But, man, the gap they're opening up already. I mean, it's over a second lead back to Robert Raider there. That's mind-blowing how hard, Orlando Jr. is building time here. That's either he's figuring something out here on the short run, or he's really eating those tires off.
Yeah, I was looking at the same thing as you were just talking about it. It's just the gap that they've already had put out there. So yeah, it's just going to be interesting to see as we're at 1.2 second lead over second place. So either Rob's really saving, or Orlando's just really comfortable racing at this time of night right now as the sun's coming down.
We got our lap times right here, comparing our leader to our second place man. You can see when you got white numbers like that, that means that the leader or the driver that's up top is the faster driver. As you can see, each and every lap, 0.02 of a second that 27 is putting on that 53. And I think Raiders, this is him running his pace. I watched him early in the last portion of the last run. He exactly did this exact same thing, and I gotta say, he's sticking to his guns here, David.
Yeah, and I really like the line he's running. He wasn't on that run there. He was not running the low line. He's kind of running almost mid to high, and he just really it looks like he's running hard, but at the same standpoint, at the high level where he's running, it doesn't appear to be that it's going to be that hard on the tires.
Oh man, Walterman, big moment for him in the 99 here up in front of the leaders. As he'll get up on the apron here. Hopefully no issues like last time we slid up off the track, and he'll be bringing it down on the apron. There is, man, oh man, that was a major moment for him. I'm unsure if he's having technical issues again, so hopefully nothing wrong there for the 99 and still bringing up the pit road.
Yeah, unfortunately, like you said, don't really know what happened there, but all of a sudden the car just kind of stepped out on him and then had to bring it down pit road. So we'll have to keep an eye on him and see if he's able to come back out.
As we cycle through the field, here's the battle. The 48 of Johnston up to the 56 of Loveland, who won our stage. Loveland's been kind of trapped here on this bottom lane as Heights is trying to get past Raider up front. Earhart's got passed by Heights. So this whole group of drivers here from the 8th position on up to 2nd, they're really racing hard.
They are. And the 56 car there, Loveland, just seems like he's struggling right now. This car just doesn't seem to be as good as it was at the start of the race. But we still got a long ways to go, so maybe the car will come back to him.
We'll have to see as the lights are shining bright here at the Chicagoland Speedway. At the moment, Kevin Orlando Jr. opened up almost a 2.5 second lead to the rest of the field, as that's the first time Raider in a long time has been faster than him. So we're seeing this group starting to pick it up here as we're nearing that halfway point in this stage. We'll head to a quick commercial break here at Freaky Fast Broadcasting, and we'll be back in a few moments, ladies and gentlemen.
To be the best, you can't settle for the rest. There's a reason that Maconi Setup Shop is trusted by more virtual and real-world tracks and companies than any other setup shop in iRacing. With partners such as Stafford Motor Speedway, the Nashville Fairgrounds Speedway, Five Flag Speedway, Speed 51, and more. When you want something done right, you go to the experts at Maconi Setup Shop.
With setups available for most series on both asphalt and dirt, built by a team of professional builders consisting of some of the top talents on the service, Maconi Setup Shop LLC has what you need to hit the track with confidence. Head over to MaconiSetupShop.com and learn why Maconi Setup Shop is the official setup shop of Richmond Raceway Esports and is partnered with some of the largest names in virtual and real racing.
And remember, at Maconi Setup Shop, there are setups, but your victories.
All right, we are back here after that quick commercial break. Lap 53 here of 120 and trying to get to lap 70 here for stage number 2. But that commercial break there was brought to you by ButtKicker. Every game deserves a truly immersive experience. The ButtKicker guarantee lets you feel every detail. From the subtle footsteps to the rumble of a V10 powered race car, from the ambient environmental effects to the power of a nearby explosion. By moving a physical mass instead of only air, the guarantee provides instant, accurate, powerful base response, and it's all perfectly in sync with every game with no additional software required. So make sure you head on over to ButtKicker.com and you can use our promo code FreakyFast20 to get 20% off of any purchase there at ButtKicker.com. ButtKicker, feel what you've been missing. Thank you to ButtKicker though for being a proud sponsor here at Freaky Fast Broadcasting. Back out here on the racetrack though, what we've been having, I mean, some of the best racing I've seen all season long is Orlando Jr. He drove out to that 2.5 second lead. Now that lead, very much only a half a second. It is closed way on down as now Earhart reeling in that 27 with Job Loveland there also with the lap car, the 73 of, looks like that's Mike Aiello Jr., but what happened to Robert Rader there in the 53? He must have had a major issue.
Yeah, I mean, I hate to see what's happening with Rob, but you know, you were talking about the leader there, and Orlando just had a great restart and really put a gap on the field. But you know, as we saw as these laps have come on, that the gap is closed down now, and Orlando's falling back and not getting past for the lead.
Yeah, this is very, very interesting. There goes Earhart now for the lead as Job in the 89. He's drove his way up. Loveland's getting by Aiello Jr., the lap car here. We got to get to lap 70 before the end of the stage. This is a really interesting what is playing out. And I tell you what, too, I went on board with Raider in the 53. He's saving fuel. He is clutching this race car each and every time into the corner. Is he thinking that we're going to be close on fuel? I mean, I would think 35 laps would be plenty to be able to do for these guys, but I mean, they are on a 65% fuel load, so that right there, they could be short for this stage here, dude.
You know, that is pretty interesting. I mean, he's the only one I've seen so far that has been doing the clutching, as we see here, into the corners. So yeah, maybe there was some concern about fuel. Maybe he's doing it so he doesn't have to take as much fuel when he does pit, and maybe gain some positions back that way. Be interesting to see, you know, if he finishes on the podium, to talk to him to see what his mindset was when he was doing this.
Man, this is a wild scenario here because you're not seeing anybody else do it. That's the big thing that I'm taking away from it. And anything, yeah, and we're seeing actually guys pit now. So we're thinking people might be coming down the pit road here. 10 laps to go, and this stage here coming soon. That's such a close window to pit. If you're going to be pitting, you better get it done soon because, man, it's going to be tough out there.
Yeah, it is. I mean, it kind of catches me off guard, really, to see these guys, you know, being that concerned about fuel already. But you know, they're in the cars and they know what their box is telling them. So, you know, meanwhile, we're still watching the 25, you know, riding up there in the front. You know, Trevor's got the lead there, and Matt's right behind him.
Yeah, Job, Earhart, Loveland. You know, this is such an interesting stage here. I mean, because, you know, they made it to 28 laps earlier. You know, it's going to be most likely 35, 36 green flag laps here. I mean, with a 65% fuel, I do start to worry about it there. But whatever the top three think, they're going for right now because it's going to be coming again this next time by to 9 to go.
Yeah, so, you know, if these guys that behind them are saving fuel and pitting, you know, that we saw the leader who was up there by himself with no draft, you know, how's that going to affect, you know, Orlando? Is he going to have to pit, you know, even sooner than some of these other guys?
Yeah, that's a very good point. I think that Orlando just didn't save fuel at all, and maybe that's why we've seen them shoot out to such a gap. And maybe these three feel confident. They're very much racing for this right here, and maybe that is the reason we've seen James Loveland, our stage 1 winner, who took the lead pretty early and drove away with it. maybe that's why he held back. He knew he had to save fuel there. He knew early in the run would be the time to do it, and it helped save the tires. Now he's charging up here late to go in this stage, and I wonder if he has enough fuel and can he get it done. The key though is it's Orlando Jr.'s on pit road. You got to make it back past 70 because you're not gonna, that caution comes out. You got to make it back around and to your pit box. So it's gonna be most likely 71 laps these guys need to get to.
Yeah, and you want to be cautious here. You can't let your mindset get on the fact that you got to get on pit road quickly to, get on your pit stop done and get back on the track, without going a lap down. You need to focus on your actual pit stop, getting on pit lane nice and clean. Don't make it worse and getting a pit road penalty. So, I can't say that it's really interesting to see now how these pit strategies are all going to shake out towards the end.
And Robert Rader, who really went into conserve mode not too long ago, he's 12 and a half seconds back now into 11th position. The big thing that I worry about is if you pit here, you go down a lap. So if you do pit, I think you only do a splash of fuel because you're not going to make it back to that lead lap position. I think that's what James Loveland did as the 56 pulls up pit road. Here comes our leader, Trevor Earhart. I think these guys are just going to be doing a splash of fuel to save it.
Yeah, I think that's a great call, to do a splash and go. And, it's interesting how some of these drivers, from the drop of the flag on the second stage, had already started thinking about, their pit strategy, their fuel strategy, and how they were going to race. So, I think you're seeing some veteran moves here and just in their thought process.
We'll see how it works out for everybody here. As, Earhart there, he leaves pit road. He's got a splash and go too. As really the big thing that needs to work out for them is they need to be ahead of any driver who saves enough fuel to make it to the end. You got to get back on that lead lap. And, you take the wave around, but when you take the wave around, you can't pit again. So they are not going to be able to get tires. They need to get on the lead lap before this all ends.
Yeah, we saw Orlando come in and had to pit, and he's sitting in 12th place now, one lap down with 4 laps to go.
And here comes Job, our race leader. Alves in the 24 follows him down. That's going to give the lead over to Cody Dorsey in the 84 machine. He's going to continue on another lap here, as we'll see who can get it done here tonight at the Chicagoland Speedway. Does fuel come to be a factor here in stage 2? We'll have to see as it's all getting said and done here. It'll be 3 to go next time by.
3 to go. Cody Dorsey leading, but you got Sean back there less than a second behind him.
And Job here, this is a situation that I did not expect. He took tires. Alves, I think, did in the 24 too. They may not do a pit stop when the caution comes out. Their biggest hope, though, is everybody cycles through, because if they don't cycle through, they're going to have trouble. As Dorsey getting on the pit road, our leader, he wrecks.
Oh, man, it's like we've been talking about, right? Getting on and getting off pit road, cleanly. The mistakes coming on the pit road will absolutely just ruin your race and stuff. So we're getting ready to come to the 70 lap mark. Here another 2 laps. So the time to recover from the mistakes is getting close. Right? You don't have as many laps to recover from that. So if you're going to make a mistake, it's got to be early in the race, so you have time to recover from it.
And I tell you what I'm looking at here. Justice Murphy out front, Sean Huffstutler here in second, Grant Thrope in third, Robert Rader in fourth. I think Rader may be out of fuel in the 53, because he's really, really slow. But the 94 and the 5 of Jason Finsler both topped off. I believe also the 77 did too. There goes Grant by Sean Huffstutler. They're going to be taking the white flag this time for the stage. Justice Murphy, these guys are just really timed this perfectly with this top off, but I think they're cutting it very close, because Huffstutler, he's slowing down out of 4. Rader very much slow out of 4. They need to make sure they can make it back for another lap, because they got to get to pit road.
Yeah, what a shakeup is going on right now. You got all kinds of different things going in play. Guys taking splash and goes, guys running out of fuel. It's just making for a crazy end if you come to the end of the stage.
And there's the yellow, and I think that's and that was not a wreck there. That was the stage. They just a little bit premature on the stage there, but but Murphy going to win it. It's just, does he make it back here for for the pit stop is going to be the question. I mean, this is going to be close for these guys. He's rolling through 1 and 2 now. He should be able to hit pit road this time, but man, Murphy's got to be feeling like he is very happy that he made it to this point.
Yeah, you can see his RPM's down to 2,000, so I'm sure he's clutching it, and now he's got it back up and going. So looks like he'll have enough if that pit lane opens up.
There again, shutting it down. Gonna roll as far as he can go. Grant Thrope, Sean Huffstella, Robert Rader, Trevor Earhart, they all made it down to the end. Drivers who got called out, though, trying to make it. Jason Finzer, one of them. He's going to go a lap down. Probably going to have to take the wave there. But same Jacob Sekrovich, Scott Kerberg, Cody Dorsey, Peyton Presley, Justin Stoner, all these drivers 1 lap down. So a lot of guys getting caught out there. And I believe Scott Kerberg is going to get the lucky dog. So, yeah, that's catching a lot of guys out here as Murphy hits his box. He may have just called the perfect strategy to get this position.
He may have, then we said it before, it's going to be interesting to see how this all shakes out here as we go into the last stage. And, these guys will get re-racked. But, yes, these guys that just pulled the wave around, they're going to have that little bit older tires and then fuel. How soon will they have to stop? So we're going to see all different kind of pit strategies going on as we go into the last stage.
What a wild race we got going on here, folks. This is really, really cool to see, because this right here, in my opinion, David, is going to shake everything to a spiral now, because we know we're going to have to pit this next time. I mean, it's a 50-lap run down to the end, really going to be about a 46 to 45 there. So we know we're going to have to pit regardless there. It's just going to come down to when you do the timing for it, and, that's going to be very critical, I think, coming down to the end here. And also, those are kind of short runs, those. You got to push a little bit harder. Raider had the first full stage of 30 laps to try to run down these guys that saved. I don't think you can save like that in this final stage, because you're going to have to split this thing up a good bit.
Yeah, it's gonna be a crazy last stage. We're gonna see all kinds of things going on as far as strategy wise goes, and the thing about the guys that had to take the wave around, when they have to pit sooner, they're gonna need this thing to cycle out. What they can't have happen is a caution come out, right after they pit, because they're gonna be a lap down. They're gonna need it to cycle out if they're gonna have a shot to be able to get to the front and try and sneak out a win.
Oh man, this is gonna be fun to watch up here as they all continue to pace here. Is Alves up front here? We're looking at Alves, in what we're thinking is he pitted at lap 66, at least from our data, everybody. And what I'm thinking is he pit there and now he's staying out. The question is, did he even take tires? I'll have to check that out for him. And he did take tires, so he took tires, and he didn't go very fast on those laps. It seems like he pretty much just tried not to get lapped because of Justice Murphy behind him, and this could work out for Alves here. He's going to have a few laps on those tires, but it didn't seem like he overworked them too bad.
Yeah, it all looks, interesting when you start looking at, where is he sitting, when he pitted, but how is it going to shake out? How is it going to work out for him? Because he's going to have that fuel, number of laps less of fuel. And so, it's going to be interesting to see how it plays out, because the only other person I see that pitted before him is Jacob down in the 15th spot there, who pitted on lap 64.
Well, they're going to get him double filed up, and we're going to find out here as Alves sticking to his strategy here. Going to restart up front. 15th to first. What a climb it's been for him there tonight. Murphy, though, what a stage win there for him to be able to save the fuel, make it down to the end, and get that win in the 9 machine. Is tonight his time to break into victory lane? David, he's had multiple times where he's shown a lot of speed and possible victory lane speed. Man, I don't know if tonight's the night, but it's looking bright for the 9.
Yeah, and right now all the drivers they got what they got. It's in the sun is set. We're in the coolest type temperatures that we've had, so they have what they got. And I'm going to be curious to see what the 53 does. The 53 is going to be able to work his way back up to the lead and go. But Orlando, who took off early in the beginning part of the race, is he going to be able to get back to the lead?
So many questions to be answered. The pace car is in. Alves is field to control. He's off and away as the green flag waves. What a start for Alves as it's side by side from second on back. Oh, Murphy, not the greatest shift there. He's going to slide on back. His throat gets by him. Here comes the 53 Raider.
Yeah, and so far Nick's hanging on to the lead here, and you guys are coming off turn 2 there. Oh, and the 953, a little bit of wiggle there from the 9, but going into turn 3 side by side.
And look at this, the 77 using the new tires. Our winner from Nationals going to take the lead out of 4. Grant Thrope to the lead in the 77 machine as Nick Alves slides back to second. He's going to take the inside there, try to get to the inside of him, but here's the 53 and Robert Raider and the 9 of Justice Murphy. As Murphy goes up top, does he have the run on the 24? Does look like he's going to get to the outside here. Second place going to change over hands here now to the 9.
9 doing a great job on the top lane, but Grant, I haven't said his name all night long, and there he is running in the first spot there, and controlling the last stage.
Who's going to be able to pull this off is the big question. Hi, guys. Raider, he's making the big run on the 24. Now behind there is Earhart, Huffstutler, Loveland, Aiello Jr., Orlando Jr., and Parker Johnson. I mean, these guys are in a sardine can right now, how close they are.
I was watching Rob there in the 53 on the previous turn there. He led off much earlier than the 24 did and just got an excellent run on the exit of that corner. So now they're running side by side there as they get close to that wall.
Very, very close there. Almost contact between those two and the wall. But now, Raider trying to get it done. Huffstutler, big run to his inside, has to check up. There's the 25, the 56, the 74. There's too many drivers here coming off of 2 in Chicagoland. It's getting spicy.
Gotta love this track. Gotta love this race and the show that these guys are putting on tonight. But, Rob is already showing he's taking care of his tires, backing that corner way up, and just the run he's getting off there. What a great job. As we see that Justice is still running up front there, that number 9 car, and then the Grant is right behind him, 0.6 behind.
What a move there from Raider to get it done. He's out in front now. Huffstutler trying to go by Alves in the 24. Next is Loveland, then Aiello Jr. He was down a lap at one point, now up to 7th, trying to fight for a top 6, maybe even a top 5 here, as Loveland's going to get by the 24, as Murphy's trying to do his best job of getting away as he's got by Grant Throw.
That he has, and just kind of looking at those lap times there, so it'll be interesting to see how Murphy plays that first position there, not to try and put too big of a gap, because that means you're going to be running your tires a little bit harder. So see if he's able to manage that lead and take care of his stuff and save it through the end.
Look at this here, riding on board with the 24, Nick Alves here. Or sorry, this is Mike Aiello Jr. here in the 74 machine. He's got to run the 94 Huffstutler. Has now got passed by James Loveland for a 4th. He's setting his sights on Raider. And, the way Justice Murphy's going right now, I don't think there's any save right now, David. I think you got to go as fast as you possibly can, cut this stage in half, and just, be as aggressive as possible with the strategy. I think if you're Murphy, you got nothing to lose. Go out there and try to get that victory.
Absolutely, and that might be the strategy that he's playing. He's going to run as hard as he can right now and put as much distance as he can, and then come down pit road and get them last set of tires on and feel for him, and then see where he comes out, if he can stretch it out even a little bit further. So, again, it's going to be interesting. You got so much going on this track. You got guys that stopped earlier than other guys. You got guys that might be saving some of their tires for the longer run. You got other guys that are just trying to put distance on. And you got guys running side by side and looking for a way to try and pass other cars in front of them.
And late to go, and look at this. We're looking back at 10th. Here's Jason Finsler. Haven't talked much about our point series 6-time winner this season and defending series champion. He's starting to cruise up into the picture here as Orlando Jr. has a rear view mirror full of our defending series champion as he starts to maybe figure it out here under the lights. Finsler just not had the night, but trying to rebound here late in the going.
Yeah, he still has some time to try and make it all work out. And, but now's the time to, if you figured something out, now's the time to put it to work and start making your way up front as we see him making the pass on the 27.
What a pass there from the 5. He's going to cover off the inside now for the 27. Orlando Jr. Hold on That position is, Halo Jr. there in the 74. He's very slow. The 5 makes the pass on him now. That's up to 8th for Jason Finsler. Next would be Parker Johnston. Man, if he can come out here with close to the top 5, I'm sure Jason Finsler will take that as a win here tonight with how much he has struggled.
Yeah, keep an eye on that number 53, Rob. His last lap time was a 31:59, and the leaders was a 31:65. So he's on a mission.
Yeah, he's got a rocket behind him too. Loveland and Huffstetler, two really fast drivers. As Orlando Jr. and Finsler, we've seen them battle this season really, really hard, and they're battling again here once again in Chicagoland. This is fun to watch as Jason's trying to get it done around the outside, but just doesn't have the run as Orlando Jr. is able to stay directly to the door.
Yeah, I think Jason, he makes a pass here and stuff, but I'm just curious to see when some of these cars might start running the high lane and see if they can't get a better run off when they're catching some of the cars, that's a little bit slower than them. But this track here, that's the great thing about Chicago. Like we said, at the beginning of the race, is that there's so many different grooves you can run. When you find your car, the sweet spot on the track of how your car likes to react. But I think the high line, some of these corners could be an advantage to some of these drivers.
86 laps about to be in the books. Third place, though, it's heating up. James Loveland, he's got the pressure on that 53 of Robert Rader. He's got Huffstetler not too far behind, too, in the 94. But James, he's got to figure out a way around. He's tried the bottom now twice, hasn't been able to get it done. Does he do what we saw Rader pull out of his book earlier and go to the high line to get the run off the corner? We'll have to see here as Rader is doing a great job of taking his lane away, though.
Keep an eye on Murphy. Still maintaining a 1 second lead over that 77 of Grant. It really hasn't changed that much one way or the other, hovering right over a second. So if Murphy's burning his stuff up, it sure isn't showing up.
I think he's looking behind saying, Grant, please make that 77 very, very wide, as the 77 definitely starting to struggle here late in the going of this first portion of this run here. And now the 53, a little slide there from Rader. What a slide it was, but still a big run down the back straightaway. He's side drafted for a second now on that 77. He's going to try to make the pass.
Yeah, we'll see if he'll be able to clear the 77 here in the center of the turn, and it looks like he will.
What a job by Robert Rader. We've seen him charge up through the field late in the going of the last stage. Now 1.25 seconds up to that leader of Justice Murphy here. I think you're going to see pit stops happening in the next 5 to 10 laps here for these drivers. He needs to get going if he wants to have a shot at that 9.
Yeah, we're going to see what Rob has right now, and here in this coming lap to see what their lap time difference is. But with no cars in front of him, it's just a matter of him hitting his lines and see if he can catch up to that number 9 of Murphy.
Right on board here with Rader. We're going to see what it looks like to ride on board with the driver trying to catch the leader of Justice Murphy. He's trying to get that gap to build down, and he is. He is definitely quicker at the moment, a couple tenths there. So we'll see again this lap what he can do.
Yeah, looks like Rob and Loveland, working that draft together, to try and catch that leader down. So just kind of was watching Loveland and Rob here. They were just saying nose to tail. So pretty smart strategy on their part to just run nose to tail, work that draft, and try to catch that leader before they race each other.
Yeah, Loveland there, and like you said, they're really working well together. Not racing here. They know that they got to run that 9 down if they want to win this thing. If they start racing, they'll let the 9 get away. But it's been a great battle up to this point. Justice Murphy leading with 30 to go here at the Underdog Racing League. We're going to step away for our final commercial of the night before we head off into our final pit stops. We'll be back in a few moments, ladies and gentlemen. Do not miss this epic battle down to the end. All right, we are back here, everybody, after our final commercial break of the night. And what a race we have on hands for you here at the Chicagoland Speedway, race number 13 of the Underdog Xfinity Series. As drivers hit pit road, we want to give a special shout out to the Maconi Setup Shop, the home of iRacing setups and the official setup shop of the Richmond Raceway Esports team, including the number 46 and 90 in the Coca-Cola iRacing Series Championship of Jimmy Mullis and Zach Novak. They've got everything from ledges to cup cars, even dirt setups for late models, modifieds, and wing sprint cars also available. You can head on over to their website at www.maconisetupshop.com today, where you can get even professional coaching lessons from drivers such as champion Zach Novak there in the Coca-Cola iRacing Series Championship for just $25 an hour. So make sure you head on over to maconisetupshop.com today, where you can check out their setups, their coaching lessons, and their book that they have coming out too on how I drive, as featuring Anthony Alfredo. So make sure you go check them out, as at the Maconi Setup Shop there are setups, but they're your victories. So make sure you head over to maconisetupshop.com today and use our promo code FFB10 to get 10% off of any setup purchase there at the Maconi Setup Shop. But thank you to all our sponsors here tonight. Back to the racing action, 22 to go. It's all transpired as they've hit pit road now, David. It's all to the races.
It is, and we got to see Rob in the number 53. He caught the leader and then decided to pit. And now looking at the scoreboard here, leaderboard, he's going to be in front of the number 9. So that just goes to show that undercut that he does is going to work out for him. He did a great job of catching the leader before he decided to pit, and in that one lap that he pitted, just made a world of difference for him.
Yeah, and he was a rocket on pit road. Also, James Loveland there about a tenth slower on that lap down to pit road, and it definitely showed. Or actually, sorry, about a second there that he put on James Loveland. So that's really going to possibly come down to be what could separate this with 20 to go. Raider, the first one on those newer set of tires, up to third now as he's unlapped himself from Alan Bargainquest in the 17 there. Now goes James Loveland to unlap himself. Man, oh man, when does the rest of these drivers hit pit road? Because it's getting down to that time where you're losing a lot.
Yeah, at this point, they're just hoping for a caution. And, that's the hope they got right now, that there's a caution, and a lot of cars get, trap the lap down and they get in that position. But that's what they're hoping for. If it doesn't work out for them, that was just the strategy that they were going to try and work out. But coming into 19 to go, we're going to see how Rob does here. And, with his last set of tires, last pit stop, everything's out the way. Now it's just a matter of hitting your marks and, running consistent laps and, getting past, clearing the traffic as quickly as possible.
And he's got about a second and a half lead back to James Loveland after it's all getting ready to cycle through his bargain quest. Cody Dorsey still out here on the racetrack as they continue to go. I think at this point, 17 to 84, they're probably just trying to catch a caution at this point. I mean, they get a caution at this point after a few more laps of this. Some drivers may decide to come back down pit road.
Yeah, it's a very good point. Depending on how many laps they run, they might come back down pit road. And I have to say that just keeping an eye on that 9 on Murphy there. I don't know if he just didn't have a good pit exit or pit entry. But him and Loveland came in at the same time, and Loveland's up the 4 spots ahead.
Yeah, he lost a good bit of time actually on pit road to Loveland. They came down all stacked up together, and I believe he just didn't have as good a stop. And no, he just didn't get the power down. He really just spun the tires and just couldn't get going, and Loveland just gapped him really, really good there.
Yeah, and it goes to say what we talked about at the beginning of the race, which is, pit strategy. Coming in and coming off on pit road there, it's so much time to be lost or gained there. And easy to do one way or the other. Mostly it's a lot easier to lose at times than it is to gain. But it is a place where you can make up some ground. And, and then you add strategy on top of it. We saw, Roth mowing a lap earlier and just the difference that made.
I tell you what, I didn't think that the 56 was going to have a shot at, but they're side by side. Raider and James Loveland, they're battling. Loveland has caught him. He just ran him down. I don't know if Raider had a mistake, what happened there, because, man, just very much the gap was closed there by Loveland. And what I'm thinking is Raider, he really saved his stuff. Looking at his lap times, he was running 6 to 7 tenths slower than Loveland on these opening laps. I think once Loveland has got here, you're going to see Raider start to pick the pace up again.
Yeah, exactly. You know, this last lap, I think you're right. He picked up the pace. They're running 31.85, 31.86. So, you know, now we're going to see what Rob does. The Rob says, okay, I saved my tires. You caught up to me. Now I'm just going to run as hard as I can. You know, or you know, what I do like is he continues to back up that corner and continues to save that tire. So as this goes on, you know, it could be at his advantage.
But we're really seeing him try to take that lane away from the 56, put the 56 in a spot that he doesn't want to be. It's all cycled through now, so 14 to go. Robert Raider, your leader. James Loveland, your stage 1 winner. Trevor Earhart's there in 3rd. Justice Murphy in 4th. And Grant Thrope in 5th. As, man, what a race we've had so far. The 53 and 56, though, they look to have some type of titanic battle here coming down the end. The 56 got a little bit 1 lap fresher tires, but I think the 53, he saved that 1 lap by just going that much slower at the beginning.
Yeah, we have 13 to go here, and see these guys battling out, already putting a second and a half over the 25 car, so it could come down to these 2 guys. And you know, the question is going to be, is the 56 Loveland is just kind of seeing, you know, where Rob is running and where he's still comfortable running, and then tries to take that line away, or does he just try to find another line, you know, that the 53 isn't running, and utilize that to try and make a pass?
Yeah, you know, I'm thinking, David, I think you just want to be really close coming here off of 4. I don't think the inside is going to get it done down to 1 and 2. I think you got to make him think you're going to go to the inside. So maybe make him think you want that lane. You're going to have to go up top, I believe, get the run off the top, and be able to get to the inside going down to 3 to make the pass. Because the bottom in 1 and 2 so hard when just the way the corner is. I think Loveland has a shot. It's going to be down here in 3 and 4. He's going to dive it down to the inside here. Now this time, it's going to be side by side through there.
Yeah, I was just getting ready to say that you had some really good points there as we see some close side-by-side action coming to the line, and with 11 laps to go.
11 to go side by side. What else could we ask for? Nothing much else as the 56. What a run here to the inside, but I think that bottom again, just not enough in 1 and 2. 3 and 4 is the bottom is a little bit more even to that top side. You're seeing it. The 53 able to hold them off, but here comes the 56 with a late dive there. Can he clear though on the entry and exit? Well, to see he's very close.
Yeah, I love when if he's going to make that work, he's got to make it work quickly. Don't want to be running that low line too long, and it's just going to eat up and heat up those tires.
This is going to be so tough from here to do. Is there he is on the bottom, just trying to get the power down coming off the corner. You know, it's such a tough decision, but with the way the side draft works, you think Loveland might just want to back 1 and 2 up on the bottom and just try to at least be there for the quarter bound. Here it is. He clears him down and off into 4. He's going to have the lead with 10 to go. What does Raider do here? Does he go to the outside? I think he will. He's going to elect to look here to the outside, going down into 1. But 56 looks to clear him off, but the 53 drives it in there. Oh, man, what great racing we got going on here.
Oh, I bet the other person that's loving this is Trevor. He wants to see them, you know, run by side and burn up their stuff. And, you know, if they do make contact, you know, then take each other out, then Trevor can come up and take the lead. So, yeah, he's just glued to what's going on in front of him.
There it is off of 4. Look at the run from the 53. The 56, he elects to go down to the apron. This is going to be such an interesting battle. I don't know what to decide if I'm one of these guys. 8 to go. Loveland out front. And the Raider pushing him off into the corner. Raider sliding through 1 and 2, though. Big loose. That's going to be a major loss of time.
Yeah, you know, we talked about that before, you know, running different lines and keeping the air on the nose. I think that was just one of those cases where you got some laps on your tires, and he was following in the windbreak of Loveland and just got tight there on the exit.
And almost into the wall there, and he caught the grass a little bit there. 7 to go. Loveland's got to take a big sigh of relief there to know that 53, not over the back bumper, he can enter with a little bit more stability, knowing that that 53 is not right there. When you have that car tucked up behind you, it always gets you nervous. But Loveland, he's flirting with the wall of a 2-2. These guys got to be real careful. It shows you they are driving the wheels off these things.
They definitely are. They definitely are driving the wheels off the thing and using every inch of the track that's available. You know, so now we're going to see, okay, Loveland, we pitted one lap later than Rob did, so that maybe that's what the difference in tires is going to be here, to let him go ahead and suit off into the sunset of the race and pick up the second flag.
Looking for back-to-back wins. James Loveland, he's building momentum, guys. I'm telling you, this is the driver you don't want to build momentum if you're in the competition. Going into the playoffs, he could get on a hot streak, and he could very well be the man to beat going down all to the end, as we're going to have 5 to go this time. James Loveland out front, Robert Rader third, Trevor Earhart Robert Rader second, Trevor Earhart third, Justice Murphy fourth, and Jason Finns are breaking into the top 5 here late to go with 5 to go. What do you know? It's all the culprits up front.
Yeah, these guys be putting on the show this whole race, and just looking at James Loveland time, he's got one of the fastest time on the track, and now he just needs to go ahead and settle in, hit his mark, knowing that he's got the 53 behind him, and coming to 4 to go, and just trying to keep it in one piece. Don't push that wall down anymore, and see if he can bring it home.
4 laps to go. Out front, the 56 of Loveland. Raider trying to rebound here late in the going to get this pass done. Trevor Earhart back here seems to be dropping off these top 2 as we continue on. It's going to be 3 to go. And James Loveland looking for 2 in a row here after winning at Dover last week. He's trying to break into the winner column a second time. And it really, I mean, man, I've been thinking about he's won a lot here on Freaky Fast Broadcasting in the last few weeks. This guy is on some type of a roll right now.
The 56 and 53 lap time, 32-16, 32-16. Impressive for them both to be racing as hard as they are, getting sim exact lap times. What a great job these guys are doing.
So fun to watch here. 3 to go. Loveland going to see 2 to go this time as Raider tries to put some type of pressure on that 56. That time by Loveland just a little bit quicker, but Raider going up to the top ropes. He's going to see if he has something for him up on that top lane.
Yeah, just trying different lines. We saw him do that earlier. He's just trying to find that a little bit additional grip to be able to close down this gap that is there and catch back up to the bumper of Loveland. But coming to 1 to go, I just think Loveland's done a fantastic job. He's been running in the top 3, started in the top 3, and here he is leading the race.
Freaky Fast white flag is out. If you want to get your name or logo on there, hit us up on our social medias. We can work something out. But 1 lap to go here at the Underdog Racing League. Raider, oh man, he is dead sideways coming out of 2. He was trying everything in his power, but not going to be enough. James Loveland all night, he seemed like the man to beat as he rounds out of 4. Loveland is going to win back-to-back races here in the Underdog Racing Xfinity Series. Loveland wins race number 2.
What a great run for Loveland. Congratulations, to him, to putting it down and putting a strategy that he stuck with all race and brought home the win. And going to get a little congratulations bump here from the 53.
Great racing between those 2. That was so fun to watch between them going down to the bow. Earhart's going to bring it home in that 3rd position. What a great finish for him. Murphy going to bring it home in 4th after leading late in the going. And 5th's going to be Jason Finns. And like I said, give him time. He'll figure it out. And he got himself back up into the top 5 there late in the going. But tonight's all about this 56 machine as he's building momentum towards those playoffs. Let's see him celebrate here on the front straightaway of the Chicagoland Speedway. Great burnouts from the 56 there. Congrats again to James Loveland, as we'll get ready to talk with him in a few moments. It's just been a fantastic night of racing here with this Xfinity car, and what a night it was. You can see how excited he is as he keeps going. We'll be back in a few moments there, everybody, as we get these top 3 drivers up here and have a chat with them about their night here at the Chicagoland Speedway. All right, we're back here, everybody, for our post-race interviews after tonight's race at the Chicagoland Speedway for the Underdog Racing League. Let's hear from our third place man in the 25, Trevor Earhart, about his night here at this great track. Hey, Trevor, it's Zach up in the booth. You got a copy, man?
Yeah, how's it going?
It is going great, man. To have you back up here in the booth again after another top three, man. A solid night again from the 25, leading laps and keeping it up front for majority of this race. How were you able to bring it home in third, man?
Just building off that momentum from last week. The third place finish at Dover, so just kept it rolling this week. Saved the tires as best I could. Used them up a little bit there in the first stage, but was able to save there in the second and third. So that was the key to it. Just save the tires and keep it up front.
Well, man, you did a fantastic job of that all night. Was able to put that 25 in good positions. Now we have 2 races left, man, before we head off into this playoffs, Pocono and Iowa. How important do you think those 2 tracks will be to continue to carry this momentum, like you said, you brought from last week?
It's going to be important, especially going into the playoffs. Pocono, relatively decent track for me. Iowa, I haven't run them that much in the Xfinity car, so I don't know really what to expect there. But I think as long as we can walk out of those 2 with a top 5 going into the playoffs, we'll be in good shape.
Well, man, it's going to be fun to watch you guys get into those playoffs. And I got a road course in there, and I know you'll definitely enjoy that one. So we'll get to see what you can do there at Road America, man. But again, congrats on a top 3 here tonight, man. Before I let you get out here and go get ready for Pocono and Iowa, anybody want to send a shout to, buddy?
Shout out as always to you guys for the great broadcast, everybody in the league for putting on a good show. My teammate Loveland, back-to-back wins for him, so congratulations, good run for the team overall. Bank of Oklahoma, the Earhart Group, those guys for jumping on board again this week, and all of my friends and family back home and wherever they may be watching at home.
Well, Trevor, congrats on third, man. We'll catch you next week at Pocono. You have a great night, man.
Thank you. You too.
All right, everybody. That was your third place, man. Trevor Earhart in the 25 machine. Able to bring home another solid finish. Now we got Robert Rader, our second place, man, almost coming up with the win here tonight. Fighting hard down to the very end. Let's hear from him and how it got away from him. Hey, Robert and Zach up in the booth. You got a copy, man?
Zach, I got you.
Well, man, I tell you what a battle it was tonight for yourself, man. We seen you going from the back to the front there. Well, I'd say from 6 to the front there in the first stage. But, man, what a run it was for you tonight. Take us through Chicagoland, man, because it seemed like you really had the mindset to save the tires early in the run and then really use those tires as the run came down to the end.
Yeah, the cars drove really, really good tonight. So I didn't think we'd have very many cautions, if any. I think we ended up having 1 caution. So yeah, I figured you'd have to save the tires, and that proved to be true there at the end, because came down and pit 1 lap before Loveland, and the 1 lap fresher tires on his car made all the difference. I mean, don't get me wrong, he did a hell of a job driving it, and he saved a lot of tire too, even as he was catching me. But even just 1 lap made a world of difference. So you had to save him tonight.
Yeah, it definitely looked like it there. You know, we were considering, are you saving, till he got to there and then you'd go, but it seemed like you said that 1 lap fresher just was that difference. When you made that decision to pit, I imagine didn't think that was going to be the case with just that 1 lap.
No, I didn't think that 1 lap would have that much of an impact. But I also thought, because he was running right behind me and we were racing it out for the win right there already, I felt like there's another car up there, but I didn't think he was going to hang around too long. But I thought with him right behind me there, he would pit with me. I called my pit early enough that I thought he'd follow me down, but he didn't. He ran an extra lap. So, shout out to him though, man. We raced really, really hard and really clean there at the end, and it was so much fun. I haven't been sweating this hard after a race in quite a while.
Yeah, man, it was really fun for us to come up in the booth. You guys were going at it there down at the very end. And like you said, very respectful and very clean, hard racing there down coming to the end, man. But, we got Pocono and Iowa, man, to end out the rest of the regular season. How you feeling about those 2 tracks heading up here before the regular season ends? And then you think you can carry some of this momentum here from tonight into those playoffs?
Definitely. I mean, the 1.5 miles have been super fast for me so far this season, and obviously the next 2 races aren't at 1.5 miles, but Iowa and Richmond are kind of have a 1.5 mile finesse to them. So I'm looking forward to Iowa. not so much to Pocono. It's just kind of a annoying track to drive, I think. But last time I said that, it was Coda, and we ran really well there. So we'll just have to wait and see what happens. But Iowa's definitely one on the list. I think we can go out there and win that one.
Well, man, it's going to be fun to watch you guys go out there and do battle these next 2 weeks before we kick off those playoffs. Congrats on second here tonight, Robert. Before we let you get out of here, man, anybody listen to shout out to?
Yeah, Chapman Environmental Services on the car as always. James Loveland again, hell of a race. I'd love to do it every week. It was a ton of fun. My buddy Sean, who tunes in most times, and my family, and you guys for the broadcast. You guys do a great job.
Well, thank you very much, Robert. Congrats on the second here tonight, man, and we'll catch you next week, buddy, at Pocono.
Thanks, Zach. Have a good evening, guys.
You too, man. That is your second place man, Robert Raider there, ladies and gentlemen, in the 53 machine is James Loveland. He's your race winner. Whoa, what a night it was for him. I mean, 2 in a row. Winning at Dover last week. He comes back, wins here at Chicagoland. He's got all the momentum on his side. Let's hear from the man that's on top of the world right now. Hey, James, it's Zach up in the booth. You got a copy, man.
Yeah, I got you.
Well, James, first off, man, I hope you're feeling better. I know you had to miss Monday night due to being sick. It's good to see you back out on the track, man, but the winning continues, man. Tell us how it feels to get back in victory lane.
Yeah, I was about 50-50 on running this race tonight. I was still pretty sick, but I'm better than the last couple days. So yeah, just solid running. I really love this track. I'm really good at this track, and just showed tonight that I could be up front there and win the race.
Yeah, man, it definitely was a fun battle to watch for us up here in the booth. I mean, you had the 53 of Robert there. He hits pit road 1 lap before you, and you see the gap. When you come out of pit road, did you think you were going to catch him that fast? Because you kind of caught me off guard up here in the booth. I looked down for a second, and you were there.
Yeah, I honestly didn't think I was. When I went on the pit road there, the 9 kind of hit a slow pit entry, and it kind of cost me a little time. And then when he came out of pit road, he came out sideways, and I passed him. But yeah, once I was like almost 2 seconds behind him, I was like, I don't think I'm going to be able to catch him. But I just don't know. I guess that lap pressure tires paid off because he told me he was pushing there too, and I ended up catching him and getting around him.
Well, man, that was a stage victory here tonight and a race win to go for yourself. That's got to feel pretty good after winning at Dover last week. We got 2 more races in the regular season. Think you can keep this type of momentum up because the playoffs right around the corner. I know last season, you had a really good regular season in the trucks, but the playoffs just didn't go the way you wanted. How vital you think it is to get these next 2 races continuing down this path?
Yeah, I definitely think it's going to help. It's going to build momentum for the playoffs. I definitely those last 2 tracks in the season. I think it's Pocono and Iowa. I'm really good at both of those tracks, so I'm definitely looking forward to those 2, and hopefully we can get a couple more wins.
Well, man, that'll be fun to watch. See if you can get race win number 4 here in the next 2 weeks. That'd be really cool to see it on a 4P. If you can pull that off, that'll be a definite news here at the league, man. But congrats again, James, on your second win in a row here, buddy, at the league. Before we let you get out of here and go get some rest, anybody want to send a shout to?
Yeah, thanks to you guys for doing the great broadcast as always, and thanks to the league for letting us run these races every Wednesday night. And shout out to F5 Motorsports. We got another win. Let's keep getting more.
Heck yeah, man. I tell you what, congrats tonight on that win, James. We'll catch you next week at Pocono, buddy. You go and get some rest, and I hope you feel better, man.
Yep, thanks, guys.
All right, everybody. That was your race winner there. James Loveland in the 56 machine. What a night it was for him there. Man, he pulled off his Michael Jordan flu game. That is really cool to hear that he was able to make it out here at least tonight. I know he's been under the weather, so that was good to see that he got out to the track and was able to get the victory as we now have our race results up. James Loveland there, you see race win number 2 this season and back-to-back at this point now after winning at Dover last week. He brings it home in that first position. Second is going to go to Robert Raider in the 53 after a valiant effort. Third is going to be Trevor Earhart, second week in a row for him there. Fourth is going to go to Justice Murphy. Running out your top 5 is going to be Jason Finsler after somewhat of a struggle tonight. Breaks into the top 5 for the first time there in the late going. 6 is going to go to Matt Job. 7th is going to be Sean Huffsteller. 8th is going to go to Grant Thrope. 9th is going to be Parker Johnston. 10th is going to be Mike Aleo Jr. 11th is going to go to Kevin Orlando Jr. 12th is going to be Nick Alves. 13th, Cody Dorsey. 14th, Jacob Sekovich. 15th, Alan Bargainquist. 16th, Peyton Presley. 17th, Christopher Heights. 18th, Scott Kerberg. 19th, Justice Thunder, and rounding out your field here in the 20th position is Dylan Walterman. As that's your race results here tonight from the Underdog Racing League at the Chicagoland Speedway. 2 races to go in the regular season, Pocono and Iowa the next 2 weeks. It's going to be fun to see those races, but tonight was a classic battle up here at the Underdog Racing League. One I'll remember for a long time, David. Any final thoughts you made before we head out of here at Chicagoland and get to Pocono and Iowa these next 2 weeks?
Man, I tell you, this Chicago Speedway just doesn't disappoint. These guys put on a great show, on this track, and we saw everything from 3 wide, just multiple group lanes, issues on pit road, just guys that just were able to trace down the leader. Just what a great job by James to be able to, when he had the car in front of him and Murphy got sideways on him, just to keep his composure and make that gap up. And tires. What can you say about tires? 1 lap different tires just made the difference between Rob winning the race and then James coming home with the win. So what a great job by these guys, and what a fantastic show they put on tonight.
Yeah, it definitely was, David. It was a fantastic show nonetheless, man, and always a pleasure to call the action here at the Underdog Racing League, but that's one we'll definitely remember up here. As thank you all again for tuning in out there. It was a pleasure to call the action. Make sure if you haven't yet, hit that thumbs up button, that subscribe, that share, and that bell notification button to let everybody know how great Freaky Fast Broadcasting is and how great the Underdog Racing League is. So again, thank you all for tuning in. We're going to head off to Pocono next week here at the Underdog Racing League. It's going to be a fun time there at the Tricky Triangle as we get ready to close out this regular season with 2 more weeks before those playoffs kick off. But man, what a night it was here at Chicagoland. We'll send it up to our producer, Robert Moyer Jr., to close out tonight's broadcast.
All right. Thank you, Zach. Thank you, David. Thank you, Underdog Racing League. Great racing out there. Like David said, ladies and gentlemen, Chicagoland Speedway. It's a fun track to race, and it's multi-groove, and you've seen it tonight. Side-by-side action, last 5 laps trying to get the win out there, but congratulations to Loveland. He gets the 2nd win of the season, back-to-back. Like Zach said, we're getting ready to go into the playoffs within the next 2 weeks here, and momentum is starting to point the way to the 56. So we'll see how that all plays out for him as they get ready to go to the playoffs. But speaking of playoffs, well, we'll be with Stars and Stripes tomorrow as they're starting to heat up in their playoffs tomorrow night at 9:20, as we'll have Sam Dyer and Zach Hall calling all the action tomorrow night. So make sure you hit that subscribe button and that bell button, and you get all the notifications every time we go live here at Freaky Fast Broadcasting. And also, don't forget to hit that share button and share it to your favorite social media platform of your choosing, and we do much appreciate that. But from Chicagoland Speedway, we're about ready to sign off here, and hopefully everybody has a great Thursday. Don't work too hard, but we'll catch you Thursday night, hopefully out in chat. If not, we'll see you out on the track. But until tomorrow night, from Freaky Fast and the crew here, we want to say God bless everybody. We love you all. Peace out.